Titus shared some of the matters discussed at the three-day hybrid conference on the future of journalism education in Southern Africa, which was attended by a substantial online audience. One such is digital revolution's effects on journalists' jobs, as well as the need for media practitioners to change their focus to telling community stories and those of ordinary people.
Media viability, big picture issues, how governments are intervening, are there national task force, are there plans for governments and media potentially to work together in respect of media viability, because there are best practices elsewhere and we are here to learn. Right. And then we, honed in slightly closer to look at how journalism educators themselves are part of this, this puzzle around crafting, viable journalism education to support viability of media.
She pointed out that one of the findings of the 8th round of the Afrobarometer showed that people trust journalists less than politicians, which is worrisome and impacts the viability of the media.
People trust journalists even less than they trust politicians. It's
very serious.
That is very serious.
Right.
So the only way that we can deal with that is to ensure that we do the best journalism possible, that we regain the public trust. And the only way to do that is to be ethical, to be professional, because journalists play such an incredibly important role in our society.
She says the environment in which some journalists are working is also not conducive.
Just last week, I was with colleagues in Zimbabwe, where we reviewed this global UN plan of action to include now the digital and gendered violations that journalists are suffering, because that is a new angle. Let's not call it a new angle, but it's a new development in the context of the safety of journalists.
The United Nations designated November the 2nd as an international day to end impunity for crimes against journalists. In the month of October, at least 4 journalists were murdered in the line of duty in Africa.